I'm going to open with an apology to Vanderbilt. I told our guys to go play in the last 20 seconds. I didn't realize Vanderbilt told them not to foul. It wasn't something to rub in on them at all. I got all the respect in the world for Coach Stackhouse and the job that they do. So I just want to publicly apologize for having our guys go score that last bucket when they had kind of conceded the game by that point. So it's not something that was intentionally done to try to rub anything in. I think those guys play really hard. I got a ton of respect for them. You know, we got up big on them here last year. They came all the way back, cut it to 2. We got up 15 on them in the SEC tournament. They came back and beat us by double digits. They never quit. They play hard. I like Coach Stackhouse. I think he runs some of the best stuff in the league. I always like to watch how they attack other teams. I think I can learn from it. So that wasn't the intention there. But on to the game, I thought our guys really played hard, played well, played together for large parts of the game. You know, in light of the circumstances we were under, I'm really proud of, you know, the mental toughness that some of our guys showed. I think we did a pretty good job getting the group together. They did a good job getting themselves together. Had a really good practice yesterday, had a good walkthrough today, and came out here and opened the game well, built up a lead. You know, it would have been nice if we didn't give up the few runs we gave them to make it close. But despite of what we've gone through, I think our guys played really well tonight.
Nick.
Yeah, Nate, I believe on the post-game broadcast, you mentioned that you shared some verses with the team this week. What were those verses? Also, second question I had for you too. You mentioned pregame radio that you talked to Ray Lewis. Did you initiate that? Did he initiate that, or how did that play out?
I initiated that with Ray. I just thought he'd been through, you know, tragic situation and one of the more mentally tough athletes in my time. His daughter went to Alabama, so I was able to get his number. And I talked to him. He didn't talk to the team or anything, but he kind of talked to me, and he's a man of faith as well. Just kind of told me to share the word with them, pray with them. That's what they need right now. His daughter went to school a year and a half ago, so she was pretty shook up by the whole situation too. And, you know, the passage where, you know, to those that love God, all things work together for good. I mean, this obviously doesn't look like there's any good in it, but we're trying to use it to bring the team closer together. It's a tragic situation, and we feel awful for any part of what, you know, anybody in our program had to do with it, but we're trying our best to learn within the group, make better choices. We're praying for Jamia and her family, her son especially. I mean, it's heartbreaking. She left a 5-year-old here, so the whole situation needs a lot of prayer.
Michael.
Yeah, what were the emotions like pregame, and what was your message to the team to keep the emotions in check for a game like this?
I didn't see a ton of emotion pregame necessarily. I did see some guys break down postgame. I think they've been bottling some stuff up, and we got a job to do. We got to get to the game. Kind of got to the game, took care of business, and then, you know, it's almost like a big relief. Game's over, and we can let out a sigh of relief. But I think, you know, I think the guys still need some time. They're going to need a lot of time. I mean, guys have been using the resources with the school, with the counselors. You know, I think more of them will see some counselors tomorrow, but it's a hard situation for the guys to go through. So I thought pregame, you know, I thought guys got themselves locked in, ready to go. Like, it's almost like, let's use basketball as a little bit of a release, if that makes sense. And then I just think post game it got a little bit more emotional than pregame.
Ryan.
Coach, just overall this game from start to finish, how proud of your guys? I mean, there was fight during that game, and just to finish strong, what does that say about this team overall?
I mean, I think we've showed mental toughness in the past. We won at Houston, #1 team in the country, after being down 15 in the second half. We won at Arkansas, one of the toughest places to play. You know, they were picked to be in the top 2 or 3 of the league by about everybody. They got a lot of talent. So we've gone on the road and won in the past. We had a little bit, different circumstances, a lot different circumstances here. It's still a road win. But I thought, I just think our guys have got a mentally tough group. They're young, but they're pretty mentally tough. I mean, we were closing with 4 freshmen on the floor for a while there tonight with, Jaden and Brandon. Ryland was in there, Clowney. So I thought, despite the fact they're freshmen, I think we've shown a little mental toughness. I think they take things seriously. They study the game. I think it shows by just how mentally tough they are.
James.
Yeah, building off that question, you guys go 10 for 10 at the line in the last 5 minutes, really seem to just preserve that lead. Just how important is it for this young group to be able to kind of go through a situation like that and be able to kind of come through?
Yeah, I thought, Noah Gurley and Brandon were all 10 free throws between Brandon and Noah Gurley in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, Brandon, Noah Gurley, and then Noah Clowney right before that, or before that earlier in the game.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, those guys did a great job. Clowney couldn't make a 3, but stepped up and made his free throws. He'd been struggling at the free throw line a little bit. So I think it shows how much mental toughness he has. We've seen Brandon step up in big games late and knock his down pretty consistently. And then, Noah Gurley stepped up and made him as well. So, I was happy with the free throws. We didn't shoot the ball very well tonight, but we shot it well at the free throw line, and we needed to make our free throws close the game because they just kept coming at us. I mean, it didn't seem like we get a stop there in the last few minutes. They just kept coming down. I mean, they'd score quick 2, quick 3, and we'd have to turn around and make free throws. So we got to do a better job closing games on the defensive end, but we did do a good job at the free throw line.
Mason.
Coach, you kind of talked about Noah Gurley and how he played. Just what is it about him that makes him such a strong glue guy, a key rotation piece off the bench, whether it's just scoring from beyond the arc, rebound, or just playing overall solid basketball?
I think he's a veteran with a lot of experience. I think, he's, a leader for us. It's nice to be able to bring some of those experienced guys off the bench. Quinterly's played really well for us off the bench, so between Gurley, Quinterly, Dom Welch, these guys are all in their 5th year of college. So, different ones have stepped up there. Dom obviously still needs to get his groove going after the injury, but, Noah's played well for us. He rebounds well. He's getting better on defense. He made the free throws. So, he hit the big 3 there when we needed it late too. So I'm happy with Noah's effort.
2 more. Simon.
Hey, Coach. Simon Williams with WCDX, Fox 54 in Huntsville. You talked about the fight that your team showed in those moments when Vanderbilt especially was pushing back. What did you attribute that to, maybe on your end, that you saw that Vanderbilt was able to get back into this game, specifically in the point where they cut the deficit, from when you guys were up 23 points?
We didn't get stops. I mean, it went from 23 to 16 in a hurry. I think we gave up some threes. I thought some guys relaxed. We've had this issue before. Ole Miss up 27. All of a sudden they cut it to 15 real quick. Our guys got to understand that this is college basketball and there's some high-level players on the floor every team we play. And if you don't sit down with some intensity and get a stop, they can, they scored 7 quick points on us. So Vanderbilt's good. They run great stuff. They've got no fear. They take after their head coach. They're tough. And they got players that can make shots. And I thought we relaxed. So I wasn't too hard on the guys after the game, just based on the circumstances we're in for this game. But, any other game, I'd have been still disappointed in it. I just, they've been through a lot emotionally, mentally, psychologically. So I didn't expect a perfect game that way, but we got to get better. We got to go to Missouri. We haven't won at Missouri since I've been here. So we got to get ourselves regrouped, ready to go. And we got to do a better job closing games in the future.